Hello and welcome to Mastering Microsoft Excel video series. This is video number 20, Pivot Table Part 3. In this video, we are going to talk about three different types of grouping available in the Pivot Table tool. And these three groupings will help you to do three different type of interesting and important analysis on your data. Without much ado, let's get into the Excel screen and let's start learning about these three type of groupings. We are using the same data which we have been using in the last two parts. Now the same data. So let's talk about the first grouping, which is date grouping. So when you have a date column in your data, and if you take that data to the pivot table, you can do periodical comparative analysis. Like you can do year on year, how much is your sales, or month on month, how much we have, quarter to quarter. You can do all those kind of study without writing a single formula in click and drag. All these are going to happen. Let's go ahead and try doing this right now. So I'm going to go ahead and click inside the data, go to the insert tab, pivot table, okay, and let's bring the date. I'm going to activate the billing date. It automatically moves to the rows, and you could see automatically it is already grouped in the form of years. But if you observe, I got different groupings here, month, quarters, years, all those are available. So I can click and expand this to analyze further by those groupings as well. But we are not going to use the standard grouping. I'll tell you why. So let's go ahead and take the numerical data which we want to analyze, which is, let's say, the bill amount. So now the reason why I don't go by this is you might have to stick to these options and work on. Suppose, let's say you want to decide the grouping. You don't want the Excel to go ahead and take that decision. Once you got this pivot table, right click on any one of the year and say ungroup. So you will be seeing individual date wise numbers right now. Now to group as per your requirement, you can select any one of the date, right click, group, and that's going to bring up this grouping dialog box in which you have different frequencies of grouping. So let's say, for example, my intention is to view the data only by month wise. So I can choose months, which is already chosen here, and click OK. So in this 5 years, my performance in January month, February month, I can study it much more easily without any kind of hassle. Now check out that plus signs are not there. Okay, I don't have too many unwanted columns here. So all those are perfectly as per my requirement. That's the reason I don't go by the default. I pick up the route of doing the ungroup and group again, so that you get the choice to decide what you really want. Let's say I want to do it by month on month and year on year. So I want to bring the year also into the picture. Can I do that? Absolutely yes. You can right click and go back to group. And now you could see it says months, but we need years also. We can choose years and click OK. So month and years are now in the picture. You can see it here in the rows. I'm going to drag the years and drop it in the column. Now you could see month on month, year on year, how is the numbers. So you could compare 2020 Jan with 2019 Jan. All those kind of comparisons are possible. Now if you bring in the part 2 video knowledge here, you can do a very interesting analysis. Example, watch this. I'm going to select any one number, right click, go to show value as, and I'm going to choose the option percentage difference from. And here I would love to study this by year on year. I want to compare it with the previous year, and I want to know how much percentage we did better or worse than the previous year. So when I click OK, watch the beautiful part. It says since 2019 is my base, the start year, I don't see anything over here. So let's check out here 2020. So compared to 2019 number, in 2020 January number, we are down by 31%. And but if you look at this one, May month, we are up by 7.8%. June, we are up by 23.63%. So I am just connecting the two knowledge points into one. So one is a date grouping and one is your show value as when they come together, it gives you a lot of scope in working on your data. Okay, so that's your date grouping. Now let's look at the next type of grouping. Come back to the normal. So right click, show value as no calculation, and I don't want this grouping. I'm going to ungroup it. I want to click inside, bring the bill date. So I don't want the billing date anymore. So let's deal with the next type of grouping. What's the next type of grouping? The first type of grouping you guys have learned is called date grouping. The second type of grouping is called number grouping. What is number grouping? So let's drag the unit supplied. Remember, unit supplied is a number. So far, we have been dragging and dropping it in the value section. We're going to break that rule. We're going to drag and drop that in the rows. The moment I do it, it's going to show all the unique units numbers over here. And all I'm going to do right now is select any one of the number of the units supplied, right click and group. So now what this dialog box shows me, hey, this is the least value you have in the unit supplied, and this is the highest value you have in the unit supplied. Now, how do you want to group them? So number grouping will help you to convert an individual numerical value, which is unit supplied, individual value into ranges so that you can study something like a frequency distributions. Okay, you can find out, okay, between in this range we have this many transactions, in this range of age we have this many employees, in this range of feedback have been opted by these many employees. Those kind of studies you can do it using this. So I'm going to say, hey, start the grouping from 100 to 1000, but when you group it, keep it in the range of 200. So when I click OK, watch how the numbers are clubbed now. 100 to 300, 300 to 500, 500 to 700, 700 to 900, 900 to 1100. So now if I want to know how many transactions are falling under 100 to let's say 100 to 300, all I have to do is just drag this unit supplied one more time and drop it in the values. That shows how many transactions are falling under each actually. Now if I take this to the chart, like a bar chart, something like this, and if I have the numbers sorted and I am going to remove the legend, the grid lines, I'm going to quickly do certain things over here. I want to make this to look like a histogram actually. So I'm going to right click on any one of the bar and I'm going to go to the format data series and I'm going to decrease the gap width. Okay, decrease the gap width. And if you look at this, I want to do the format outline. Let's have a white shade. And you could see this is nothing but just looks like a histogram, a frequency distribution. All it shows you right now is in which range you have the maximum occurrence. We can see that between 300 to 500, we have the most of the occurrences. So that's what this number grouping does for us, my friend. So number grouping is something which you can use it when you want to convert a numerical value into ranges. Reason you want to find out in each range how many occurrences are happening, then number grouping is something which you can do it. You can try this on employee age, employee tenure, feedback rating, units supplied, or the survey ratings. Wherever the numbers turns into ranges will make sense. Number grouping is something which you should never miss. So that's our second grouping. Let's check out our final grouping, which is text grouping. So I'm going to go back and ungroup these. I'm going to remove this chart and I'm going to ungroup this back to normal numbers and I'm going to clear this. Come back to my pivot table. I'm going to clear this unit supplied. Come back and try the next one. So now this time I want to bring the salesperson and the bill amount. Okay, what is text grouping? So text grouping, let me give you the example over here so you can connect it. Before we go to that, did you notice something here? The salesperson 10 should be appearing at the end, but it is coming in the middle because as per the alphabetical order, that's in the right place. But I want to keep this in a different place. I want to move this to the end. How do I move it? Right click on the salesperson 10 and I'm going to go to the move option. I'm going to say move to the end. So now we have that in the right place. So let's say, for example, out of these 10 salespersons, certain salespersons are permanent employees, certain salespersons are contract employees. So I want to see uh, how much sales has come from the contract employee, how much sales has been done by the permanent employee. Now, let's say if I go to the data, if there was a column in my data which says this guy belongs to the permanent, this guy belongs to the contract, I would have simply brought that column to the pivot table, isn't it? But because I don't have it, but I want to create it temporarily in the pivot table just to add up some value in terms of visual representation, in terms of helping the end user to understand the report better. So what I can do is, let's say for example, salesperson 1, 2 and 5, 9, 10. So I'm holding the control key while selecting them. So these 5 employees are contract employees. So after selecting them, right click, group. So they became one group right now. Rest of these employees, I'm going to select them, right click, group. Now these guys are permanent employees. So I can type so these are contract employees. So now we got the segregation, my friends. Now what's that value addition which I'm trying to find out here is, watch it. Once I got these item grouped, now you could see on the field list, there is already a field salesperson and you can see salesperson 2. That salesperson 2 got created because you did that grouping. Now, because we have the salesperson 2 as one of the field, we don't need to have the salesperson anymore in the pivot table. Now, I can go ahead and put the salesperson 2 in the column and bring the territory, and I can study in each territory how much sales is contributed by the contract employees, how much has been contributed by the permanent employee. Not only that, I can study even by product level how much is contributed by the contract employee, how much is contributed by the permanent employee. So let's say I'm a head of HR. I don't want to know each person's, I just want to know the category wise. Okay, then this would help person to understand how the contract employees are performing. Are they really adding value to the company in terms of revenue generations? Yes, I can convert this into percentages using the show value as well to present it more clearly. That is all up to you, which I want you guys to go ahead and explore it at your end. So the file will be available for you to download in the description with a downloadable link. Try all the 3 types of groupings: the date grouping, the number grouping, the text grouping. And if you got any issues or queries, do mention in the comment section. I'll be happy to help you out there. So let's catch up in the part 4. Until then, take care of yourself. Signing off, Hare Ram.